wearing sunglasses, hats, or no socks, but that's okay. It's not from you guys, but it goes on YouTube, and that's where I get the flack. But
God's not going to give you something.
that's right. It's more about, are we following what this book says or not? I'm enjoying going through the book of John and looking at how, Jesus' encounters with people, how they impact our lives too, and how, as a church, what we kind of bring out of it. And just to recap, the things that I've kind of come up with is we don't hide behind excuses. We want to embrace the mystery. We're comfortable with the uncomfortable. We're not here to condemn. We celebrate the process. We make room for God. And last week was we're the ones transforming. This week, I want to tell you the story, and then I'm going to go through the story to kind of pick out the how-to to apply it for our lives. Because today we're looking at why people need to be loved. And I've mentioned it before, and it really resonated well with you guys, so I'm going to stick with it. We love the hell out of people. That's who we are. And we can get it from how Jesus showed the full extent of his love. John chapter 13, it says that Jesus showed the full extent of his love, knowing that he would come from the Father, that he was about to lay down his life. He took off his robe and wrapped a towel around himself and went and washed his disciples' feet. And when he got to Peter, Peter was, oh, don't wash me. That's beneath you. Don't do that. And Jesus said, if I don't wash your feet, you have nothing with me. And Peter said, well, then don't just wash my feet, wash my hands and my head. And Jesus said, if you needed a bath, go have a bath. That's not what it's about. Jesus said, you guys are pure because of the words I've spoken to you, but one of you is not. And he knew it was Judas, and it strikes me really strange that the one who came to earth and took on flesh and camped out for a while washed the feet of the one who was going to betray him. Jesus then says, what I've done for you, you need to do for each other. And we don't think that that's foot washing. We think that's loving each other, showing each other the full extent of our love. I see some really good tools for us to love each other and love others in what Jesus did. First off, you need to know who you are if you're going to love others. It says that Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power and that he had come from God and he was returning to God. Jesus knew who he was. You and I need to know who we are. And I'm not talking about self-actualization. I'm not talking about reinventing yourself. I'm talking about knowing who who the Father says you are. Because it's who the Father says you are that you get your identity from. He gave us the name of his Son. We're Christians because of Christ. And so you need to know that you're chosen. You need to know that you're set apart. You need to know that you have the Spirit of the living God in you. You need to know that you're accepted. You need to know that you're loved. You need to know that all of these things that are in this book. I've got a tool for you on my website, and if you're interested, I'll tell you where it is. But it's a personalized identity in Christ. And so it's something you need to know, and you can feed it to yourself and retrain your brain. But it's also a revelation from the Father. It's also something that needs to drop from here to here. And when it drops from here to here and you get it, oh my goodness, can you love deep? Because you're not loving so that you get something back. You're loving because God loved you first. The second thing that Jesus did, he got up from the meal, took out his outer clothing, wrapped a towel around his waist, and he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet. What Jesus was doing was honoring them. And when we want to love others, we need to honor them. What does that mean? Honoring someone else is not debasing myself. Please don't think that Jesus debased himself because he washed the disciples' feet. That's what Peter thought. He got it wrong. Jesus got down on their knees because he was honoring them. When I honor someone else, I honor what God says is about them. I honor their identities of who God's made them and how he cherishes them. It's not that I make up stuff to honor someone, and it's not, I don't show deferential treatment like, oh, I'm so lowly, you're so good. It's I honor people because Christ first honored me. I mean, this is a huge topic. We don't have time to unpack it all now. But like Peter says, honor those in authority, kings and all in authority. He was saying that while he was being persecuted by the kings he was telling them to honor. It's a stretch to honor all people at all times. It's easy to honor the honorable. It's really tough to honor those that should be honorable but aren't. The third thing, when you are loving the hell out of people, you need to teach the teachable. You see it in Jesus. He goes to Peter, and Peter's like, "No, don't be so lowly, Jesus." Like, and then he flips it around, and then wash my hands and my feet. And Jesus, he didn't really draw out the theology of what he was doing. There are times he got upset with the disciples and said, "Oh, how long am I going to be with you?" But those times were the times when they couldn't cast out the demon or they couldn't heal the sick person. And he's like, "I told you how to do it. Come on, get going with the program." Here he doesn't even do that. He had a more important lesson for Peter to learn, so he was putting off that. He wasn't going to beat his head against the wall for someone that wasn't ready to receive quite yet there. It's a difficult thing when you're walking along someone and trying to love them and you're walking with them and they're just not teachable at that moment. Parents know this. You're going to be a father soon. You'll learn this soon. You don't, it just, wait for those teachable moments, they say, right? But it's sometimes when it's teachable for you, it's not teachable for the kids. And they're not ready to receive. And so the teachable moments that work are the ones when they're ready to, oh, okay, that makes sense to me now. Same with anyone you're loving deeply. Fourth thing I see here is that Jesus said, unless I wash you, you have no part in me. And then Lord Simon Peter replied, "Does not want my feet, but my hands also." Jesus replied, "A person who has a bath only needs to wash his feet, and his whole body is clean." Provide what they need and not what they want. It's kind of the flip of you can't help people more than they want to help themselves. But you know it with kids, you know it with young people, you know it with and really when you're loving someone into the kingdom or loving someone through the kingdom, you're helping them mature. And you need to be able to teach them or give them what they need and not what they want. That takes discernment, that takes wisdom, that takes listening to God and sometimes we do more harm than good by doing a lot for someone when they should be doing it for themselves. Fifth thing, this was the big one for me. Verse 11. For he knew who was going to betray him, and that's why he said not everyone was clean. Number 5, when you're loving the hell out of people, you need to avoid being insulted. You're going to be given the opportunity to be insulted. You're going to be given the opportunity to feel slighted. You're going to be given the opportunity that I've had enough, no more. Jesus washed the feet of the one he knew was going to betray him. That's a challenge for me, and that's a challenge for all of us. Sixth thing, going quickly. Verse 14, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. For I've set you an example that you should do as I've done. We need to challenge growth in those that we're loving. It's a misnomer to think if I love you, I just have to let you do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. I love you too much to do something stupid. Maybe think about it in those terms. I don't love you if I let you do something stupid. And yeah, I can't stop you sometimes, but I can warn you. Yeah, I can't stop you sometimes, and I can warn you, and you can fall on your face, and I can help pick you up. Okay, that's part of the agreement with love. It's you don't have to keep on telling, well, I told you. But challenge growth. Because you're honoring them. You see something in them that God has placed in them, and you're drawing that out. And it's over time, and it's over as you walk along and as you go along. Seventh point is to point them to a realistic future. Jesus said, I tell you the truth, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Jesus was telling them that they need to love each other because that's what he showed them. He served them. And so you need to serve each other. And I think when you walk along with somebody, it becomes more and more natural for you to let them know if you're farther along the road, life isn't always easy. It's not that everything is rainbows and sunshine. Yeah, we enjoy days like this, but the days are getting shorter after this. Don't think about it, but it's true. I do not want to be doing this December 24th. Anyway, I want to leave you with the last verse in this section, verse 17. Jesus says this to his disciples. He says, now that you know these things, you'll be blessed if you do them. I know you are walking along with people that are so close to the kingdom, you can almost taste it. And you're crying out for God to just bring them in. Don't lose heart in doing that. You're going to see a reward for your work. I know you're walking along with people that have just made stupid mistake after stupid mistake after stupid mistake, and you're just tired of telling them it's stupid mistakes. Don't stop loving them. Don't stop picking them up. Don't stop. Keep on doing what God's told you to do. You have the chance. You know, it's not that we change the world. But boy, we can change the world for one person. We can make all the difference in one person's life by coming alongside and walking with them and showing God's love and essentially loving the hell out of them. Yes, we will have t-shirts. Let's pray.